So I wanted to take a few minutes here to talk about an exceptional guitar we have down at Emerald City Guitars right now. This is a 1955 D'Angelico New Yorker that I was fortunate enough to have an opportunity to buy. A few months ago I flew out to Boston and bought this guitar from a gentleman who had purchased it from the widow of the original owner. He was a music teacher from Georgia, and he had a friend of his that was a left-handed guitarist who had John D'Angelico build him a left-handed New Yorker, probably one of the few around at that time, and had persuaded his friend John to try to get himself a New Yorker as well. So in his words, his buddy's name was Lefty. Go figure, a left-handed guitar player named Lefty. So Lefty approached John about building his friend the best New Yorker that had ever been built, and that's what this guy wanted. So he put his order in and ended up with this beautiful guitar. The story is, when he got it, he saw this little burr right there in the maple and was a little bit disappointed, so he called up John D'Angelico and said, "Well, I love this guitar, it's amazing, but it has this little flaw in the neck." And John said, "Well, from what I understand, you wanted the best New Yorker that I could possibly make, and that piece of wood for that neck was the best piece of wood I had. I went through a bunch of necks, and that was the one, so I could certainly change the neck out for you, but that neck is the best." So he said, that's good enough for me, and he ended up keeping it, which is a really cool story. And gosh, you can see the beautiful flame maple in this guitar. It's just stunning. So this guitar was one he used for all his black tie affairs, and from my understanding, Johnny Smith that he used to do his teaching with, and this became the guitar that he took out when he got all dressed up and played engagements. And he played it through an old tweed basement, which I can only imagine sounded fantastic. So this guitar is 100% original, with the exception of the pick guard, which is, a lot of you know, on these old Bakelite guards, they'll deteriorate and eventually become unusable. So he had this manufactured for him by a gentleman that took care of this guitar and was his guitar tech for 30 years. So he made him this pick guard. He was able to save the original binding from the original pick guard, which is just a really cool thing to do. So what you're seeing is the original binding, but a newer pick guard on there. You know, of course, the 18-inch body, the carved spruce top, the imperial tuners. It's just a stunning, amazing guitar. It's got the DeArmond floating pickup here, which we sometimes call the monkey on a stick, because you can actually push it up and down. So just a fantastic guitar to have down here with all our just beautiful vintage guitars in the shop. And right now we have a lot of really cool arch tops. But by far, this is the king of the arch tops, and we're so blessed to have it down here.